is going on, everybody, and welcome to the 1% podcast. I am absolutely buzzing to re-record and speak to you again, bud. So I've got Simon Johnson on the podcast today. Dude, like, if anyone doesn't know who Simon is, you will now, but just give a little intro, who you are, what you do, all that jazz.
Yeah, so I'm Simon. Thank you for the intro, mate. Yeah, it's nice to finally re-record this, hopefully with some better audio, fingers crossed. So I'm an online coach. I come from Jersey, a tiny little 9x5 island, and I basically help ambitious people who basically want to grab life by the balls and just see what they are capable of. Unleash the body, unleash their mind, and just unleash their kind of full potential and see what they really can do when they put their mind to it. Okay. I've competed rugby at a fairly decent level. I've played tennis. I've played every different sport known to man. So it's been quite an interesting evolution. I think we've actually got fairly similar stories of how we kind of got into the fitness industry and things like that. So yeah, I think this will be quite a cool chat. And obviously, thank you for having me on, mate. Really appreciate it.
No, anytime, man. And that's the thing. Like, this podcast is always about the 1%. And we said this before, is that you're a prime example of probably, let's go like 3 to 5% every day forward sort of thing. And the biggest thing I think we're going to touch on is your mindset is something that I massively look up to, because we all get down days and things like that. But mate, even in my subconscious, I'm like, fuck me, Simon's pushing on. Like, do you know what I mean? And I think your outlook and your mindset at your age is fucking scary. Do you know what I mean? So I'm dreaded what to think how strong your head's going to be in the next 2 years. Worse off, even when you're 30, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. It's funny though, because you might say that, but at the same time, I've always said, we've all battled our own demons and things like that. And obviously I've been working with Kieran, kind of working on some of my own stuff. And this is something I kind of spoke about with Kieran. I've actually always felt like I'm behind. And I think that could be one of the reasons that I push so hard to try and almost feel like I'm constantly trying to catch up. Always, I think I kind of built everything out of a little bit of a fuck you. I can do what I want to. I'm gonna do it. Anyone who told me I couldn't do something, I was like, no, I'm gonna fucking do this. And it's been an interesting evolution of. I think that mindset will only take you so far. And now it's been working with the likes of Kieran to start coming a kind of. We do things for two different reasons. We either come away from pain or we go towards pleasure. And I think everything that I was previously doing, it was kind of coming away from pain. It was coming away from the feeling of potentially not feeling good enough, not feeling smart enough, not feeling like I could do that, or people didn't think I could do that. And now I'm kind of got to this point where it's like, okay, I've kind of proved my point a little bit here, but now we've got to start going towards pleasure a little bit more. So it's a very interesting concept. And I think this relates to our clients super, super well if we're talking about.
Poi magnifique.
Yeah, we're back in business. I don't know.
Whoa, mate, your audio is fucking good now as well. Holy shit.
Thank you very much.
It's cool. But this is the benefit of editing, right? We'll just push it together. So it's fine. But no,
yeah.
Just bring it back. I know kind of like you dabbled on, like I just said, imagine kind of like your mindset right now. And you were kind of going on that. You go towards kind of that fear side of things, or vice versa. You go towards that comfort side of things. Just kind of like bring it back into that, I guess.
Yeah, so I was saying that it's two things. You either go away from pain or you go towards pleasure. That's the kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum. And when I started out, it was coming away from pain. It was the feeling of I didn't think I was good enough. I wasn't smart enough. And I kind of built everything, and everything that I did was out of a fuck you. It was a fuck you, I can do this, okay? And that will only take you so far. And then you get to the point where you're uncomfortably comfortable. And as I was saying, just how this does relate to a lot of our clients as well, is they'll lose, let's say they want to lose 10 kilos, they'll lose 7 kilos and they'll feel fucking good, but they're uncomfortably in a good place because they know that they wanted to lose the 10. So that's where we have to flip that switch and start thinking, right, I'm going towards pleasure now. So rather than it being, fuck you, I'm smart enough to do this, blah, 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 blah. Now for me, it's right, I'm doing this because I want to build like a strong home for my family in the future. I want to build financial freedom for the same business mentors. Been working with Adam for about 18 months now. It took me nearly 18 months to reach out and message Adam. If I'd done that, hell, I'd be 18 months ahead of where I am right now. But it was because like, oh, right, I need to work out. I'm going to run the perfect members area. I'm going to set up the perfect training program. I'm going to get this, and this in place. And then I'll do that. When in fact, if I just taken imperfect action, fell forward fast, taken some sort of action, you will never reach perfection. The only way to reach perfection is by start doing and chip away, chip away, chip away, chip away, chip away. Because I don't know if anyone's listened to the High Performance podcast with Johnny Wilkinson, and he kind of talks about how life is a series of false summits. Everyone talks about reaching like your full potential. And although, yes, you want to think about striving for that, everything, like if you told either of us that we would be where we are a year ago, we would probably both laughed in each other's faces. So like we thought that we'd be trying to get here. You get there and you realize, oh shit, there's another level and another level and another level and another level and another level, and it just keeps going. But if you do not take that first step and take that, it's a leap of faith. It really is. It can be scary, but just taking that imperfect action and getting started. If you don't get started, you will never get anywhere close to where you want to be.
Yeah. And I always think it is. It's like that. Like you said, you don't know. And I think deep down you have, I believe in that whole gut feeling. Like you generally like listen to your gut sometimes because you fucking know what to do. So sometimes I'm like, just go for it. Like, it's like anything. It's just like, just commit. Like you said, commit and then work it out and crack on with it. What do you think for you has been kind of let's kind of like say three things. What do you think is the three biggest things that have allowed you to be where you are today in a sense, whether that's kind of like your training, because like your training's phenomenal, coaching's phenomenal, everything like that. So what are the three areas of your life do you think that you've manipulated the most to get to where you are, sort of thing?
Number one is coaches and mentors. Okay. I was very, very lucky from a young age that I was around a lot of very good coaches and very good mentors, and they kind of took me under their wing. So I've been another phrase, a product of mentors and coaches, because I've always had them literally from the age of, I played tennis from when I was 6 years old and I had coaches and things like that. So the more that you can lean into other people and learn from people who have been there and made the mistakes, the more you will fast track your own progress. Okay. So one of the reasons that our clients get probably in shape quicker than we did is because we've learned half the mistakes and we make sure that they don't make them. It's that simple. But you should always be trying to find people who are where you want to be and pay them or just ask for their time, and you will get there much quicker than trying to do it on your own. Because trying to do it on your own, you will get there, but there's going to be a lot of failure and it's probably going to be fucking expensive because you fuck up more. Yeah, big time. That's probably the biggest one. Another one I would say just kind of based around habits.
Yeah.
Okay. Learning about how to kind of have your first domino. So it's things in your life that are your kind of pillars that then everything else kind of works off. So for me at the moment, I'm really, really working on locking in kind of evening routine, morning routine. As I'm starting to do a bit more traveling, I found when I came to Dubai, I kind of lost a lot of my routine. When I was at home, I am so dialed in. Like, I not blow my own trumpet, I would like to think I am productive as fuck. Like, I have more work done than most people do by like 7, 8 a.m. And that's because I'm so dialed in with my routine that everything just happens. I don't even think about it. It's just unconscious. But when I went away, I kind of lost a lot of that routine. So now it's trying to have some things in place in my day that will never change no matter where I am. Yeah. So I think getting clear on your first domino for the day, that if you implement that, everything else just falls into place. So is that you wake up and you go for a 20-minute walk and listen to a podcast? Is that you wake up and you journal for 15, 20 minutes? Is that you wake up and you do some breathing? Is that you wake up, you sit and look outside and have a coffee? It could be you wake up and you just go, let's do this. Like just something that you do every single day that then just, it's your first domino to the rest of your day. Okay. And that's a massive one. That's a massive one.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's the thing as well. Like I think people get baffled, but like, oh, how do people achieve this? Or how people get successful? And you know what the amazing thing is that it, like you do it, you read a lot, and we work with coaches all our lives and mentors again. And it does come down to like, everyone has the same pillars. Everyone has their own approach, but they have that same foundation, which is kind of morning routine, evening routine, having a plan out your week, be organized, things like that. Super fucking simple things. And like you said, it doesn't have to be rocket science. I'm like, cool. Like you said, just sit up and just think, breathe, one breath and go, let's go. That's all it could be. And it's just like you say, it's having those non-negotiables. It's like, we always say, it's like, right, what do you need to focus on this week to achieve the body and the mindset you want to do? Right. It's going to be, let's aim to get 10,000 steps. Let's drink 2 liters of water and let's just get 3 workouts in. I'm like, boom. And that's the same thing. You just put that in place for your daily structure.
Yeah. It kind of, one of my favorite kind of questions to ask client is like, for a day or a week or a month or the next 12 weeks is, what's the 1 to 3 things that we need to do over the next X amount of time in order for it to be a success?
Yeah.
That's makes you very, very, very clear. And then within that, you then become, I suppose you could say this is kind of one of the third things, but I think the third thing is kind of self-development. We've kind of touched on that a lot though. So I could say one of my third things is just going to become process driven.
Yeah.
If you become process driven, this is kind of what we're touching on here. One, you find a hell of a lot more enjoyment out of things. And doesn't mean you're constantly chasing this never ending goal, because let's say you're trying to build a business and you're like, right, I want to hit 6 figures, right? You hit it. Then it's like, right, I want to hit 500,000, you hit it. Right, I want to hit 7 figures, I hit it. It's this constant never ending pursuit of an endless goal. Whereas if you can find the enjoyment out of, fuck yeah, I wrote a class Instagram post. Fuck yeah, I hit a PB, a 2.5 kilo PB on bench press today. Fuck, do you know what? My morning walk was insane this morning because the sunset was gorgeous. Yeah. Just those little moments of gratitude throughout the day just make life a million times more enjoyable. So become process driven.
And that's the thing, is people overlook all that. They've probably had 5 wins that day, but they focus on the negative. Oh, I didn't eat this, I didn't do that very well. I'm like, but tell me like 5 things that have done really well. Like you said, it could have been like that. Walk's really nice, good sunset, I've got food on the table, things like that. Be really grateful for the little things. Me and you are both guilty of this. We focus so much like, right, what's next? How can we achieve this? What's next? But sometimes, like we had this conversation, it was like learning to be right now. Okay, breathe, take a step back. Being in the present and being in the moment is it's a strong thing. Like if you've got that, you will be very unstoppable for the rest of your life.
Yep, big time. And we've kind of spoken about this. One of the biggest moments that this clicked for me is everyone who follows me will know I'm massive on steps. And kind of most mornings when I'm back home, I end up going for a walk with my old man. We'd probably been walking for like 15, 20 minutes. And I don't know where my head was, but I was not walking there. And he'd literally just been talking to me the whole time. And he goes, "You're right." I was like, huh? Sorry? Literally not a thing had gone in. And that's when I realized that this comes back to looking after you so you can look after others. That's when I realized that I was kind of not walking a dangerous line, but something needed to change, because I couldn't even like sit with my girlfriend at the time and just be present in a conversation because my head was going on other things. Same thing with my dad there. So it's about learning how to kind of again push and pull, but switch on to different things. So on top of that, on top of the gratitude kind of stuff there, is I actually really struggle to switch off. My head just goes like, if I didn't learn how to switch off, my head just go non-stop. So I found that I actually have to switch onto something else rather than trying to think about switching off. So it can kind of come to that fully present. It's like, right, I'm switched onto this podcast right now. I'm in this podcast. I'm fully present. I'm giving it everything that I can. Right. Now I'm going to do a workout. What am I trying to get out of this workout? Everything that I can do in this workout. Right. I'm watching Netflix. I'm going to make sure that I freaking watch Netflix. If I actually switch onto something, because if I just try and sit there and do nothing, I'm like, my head just starts going nuts. And it's like, oh, if I could do this and this and that and that. And then, if I do this, then that and that. And I'm like, oh my God, Simon, leave me alone.
But I think that's the thing as well, especially for like I think this is something that we have in common as well. It's like people are, oh, you need to switch off. And then you think, okay, I do need to switch off. I do technically need to switch off. But then for us, it's like, well, I can't. And I think for the rest of our lives, we'll never be able to. And I'm fucking fine with that because I'm happy with my head and where it is, sort of thing. So it is just like, okay, how can I take downtime? Whatever you guys might go out for a drink, you might go for a night out. Cool. We just need to do it like you said. It's like, right, can we go? It could be anything. It could be like an activity, but it has to be something that's still that we're very focused on. That's it. It just has to be away from training and work in a sense. So it's just having that divide. And we go back to that whole balance thing. I think, I don't know, I feel like everyone's talked about balance this week to me. And I'm like, I'm completely anti-balance. Like I'm just anti it. Like you said at the very beginning, it's like push and pull. I'm like, I just related to like gas on and put the brakes on a little bit. Like, cool. When the momentum's there, run with it. But having the self-awareness to know just cool. When we start to like flag or when we start to get a bit fatigued, put the brakes on a little bit. Just run at kind of 60 to 80% instead of running at 100%. Because if you're still running at 60, 80, you're still ticking forward. You're still got that momentum. You're still driving forward. So don't think, oh, I need to like divert off and just have balance. Just keep moving forward.
I'm going to put this out there. I think balance is an excuse for people who want to be lazy.
Yeah. No, I agree. Fully agree.
Yeah. And it's great because I think a lot of people who listen to this podcast and my podcast will completely agree with that. It's that if you want to be very good at something or the best at something or reach what you can, there has to be a level of sacrifice. I'm not saying that you have to become a robot and just eat a fish and a rice cake, or you have to, this is what we're saying, you can't neglect everything, but you have to be willing to do what has to be done. It's that simple. I literally wrote an email this week and it was how everybody puts hard work on a pedestal. And I actually heard this from Nick Bear, one of my fucking biggest idols. And it's, I don't know why everyone puts hard work on a pedestal. They're like, fuck, you're so disciplined. You work so hard. It's like, no, I just do what I need to fucking do to get where I want to do. Yeah. Hard work shouldn't be put on a pedestal because it should just be the norm. Hard work is the norm. Like people put it on a pedestal like there is another way to get what you want.
Yeah.
You can't just
so true.
snap your fingers and like, oh, right, I'm absolutely shredded and I've got massive biceps. Or you can't just snap your fingers and you're turning over £1 million a year. Like you have to do the hard work to get there.
It's so funny when you say that because it's like that epiphany moment. Like, why do people look up to that? I'm like, surely everyone should be working hard no matter what you do in life. Like working hard at having a good relationship. You put work in, vice versa. Do you know what? You know when you said that, and I'm like, fuck, yeah, so true. Like, why do people think that with hard work? It's bizarre. They think it's like, yeah, that's so weird, man. Holy shit. Yep. Yeah. Never really thought of it like that. But people do that. People think discipline is like this amazing thing that you can just buy. And it's like, no, you can't, like, no one invented it. It's just a thing. Like, it's just like, you can learn it. It's very simple. You learn it. That's it. But it does come down to that why. And then it comes down to the emotion. Like at the end of the day, everyone wants to leaner. Everyone wants to be leaner, have more muscle. And at the end of the day, everyone wants to have a bit more confidence, right? That's everyone's fucking goal. That's everyone's fucking goal. So what's the real reason you want to achieve this? And like, then that's it. That pause moment. It's like, well, cool. You've got a past. We've all got a past. Vice versa. What's driving you every day? That's it. And it is that past. Could be because you were bullied. It could be because you feel super uncomfortable when you last put a bikini on. It could be anything. That's it.
Yeah. So obviously, Kieran's had me really locking in these morning routines. And we basically, if you want to break a new habit or make a new habit, you have to create like pain towards it, because you have to make it so painful that not doing it is more painful than doing it. So my sister works for me now. She's literally just handed in her resignation for a job. So she's coming on full time, which is incredible. But I am now her only source of income. Okay. And Kieran's thing was to me, and I said it, and that's one of the things that kind of shit me up. I was feeling a bit like, oh, not anxious or anxiety, but anything like that. I'd be like, oh shit, a bit of pressure now. I quite like a little bit of pressure. But with these morning routines, it was like, if you don't implement these morning routines, you're gonna burn out. And if you burn out, guess what? The business fails and you can't pay your sister. She has no income.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll get my morning routine done.
Yeah.
All right. But it's trying to, and it might sound like you're trying to create pain or go deep or just do that, but the more you can do that, and it's so easy for people to go, I want to feel more confident. I'm like, that's just surface level bullshit. Anybody can say that. Why do you want to feel more confident? Yeah. How does it make you feel when you don't feel confident? Is it the last time I had sex, I looked down and I saw my fucking belly? Like, it's that kind of shit. Is like the best thing you can actually do is sit down and go, why? Go like 4 or 5 levels deep, because you'll actually be amazed the stuff that kind of comes up. When I said I did this kind of self-authoring journaling thing that Kieran has sent me, I never in my life would have thought the stuff that came up would have come up.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you actually sit down with the purpose and intent of right, I'm going to get clarity on why I'm doing this, and go ding, 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 and not just settle for, I want to be more confident.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to feel like people look at me when I go into a room. Go deeper, man. Go deeper.
You need to. And pain is the thing that drives us. Like no one gets It's like, say, like no one is get driven by success. We all have the fear that drives us, or the pain in the past that drives us. And that is the moving blocks. Yes, you might get to success and think, oh, this is nice, I want more. But then it's going back to like, fuck, remember, like we said, like where were we a year ago? Holy crap, sort of thing. And it's like, we all have those, like, we all have shit that happens in our life. And some people get it way worse, 100%. Some people have it different, but no one knows, everyone's deep down why they want to change. That is you. So it is your decision to be like, right, okay, answer those questions as hard as they may be. And then to be like, right, what are the steps that I need to take in order to move forward? Oh, has it gone quiet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. It's a lag. It's cool.
There we go. Like, is this dodgy hotel that I'm staying in for quarantine? The internet is awful. Try running an online business from a quarantine room where the internet is awful. But it's interesting, kind of said that it's kind of a decision to move towards something which I really push with our clients. And a lot of people say, I don't have the motivation. I don't feel motivated. Motivation is motive towards. Okay, it's something towards. Okay, so motivation is a decision. Okay, it is a decision to implement and fail forward fast. That is what motivation is. Okay, motivation isn't a thing. This isn't motivation. Here you go, I've just given it to you. No, motivation is an intrinsic thing within you that you make a decision to be like, right, let's implement.
Yeah.
Okay, so fuck motivation. Like, motivation it's not a thing. It's a decision.
100%. Also,
that's where I think people get so confused.
Yeah, 100%. If we relied on motivation, we'd be nowhere. Like the amount of training sessions you don't want to do, like, and everything. Oh, I don't want to eat this, things like that. I'm like, like if you wait for motivation, you're gonna be waiting a fucking long time. As simple as, and it's having that moment. Like,
yeah,
I said it to a client yesterday, and it kind of popped up a little bit. It's like, as soon as you decide that actually your life is fully in your control, shit opens up. It's your choice to work out. It's your choice what you eat. It's your choice who you surround yourself with. It's your choice who you talk to, vice versa. Everything is your decision. So you're the only one to blame. So the reason that you want this but haven't achieved it yet, well, it's your fault. And as soon as you can actually accept it's me saying it's your fault now, you might say, oh, dickhead, like, yes. I'm like, well, cool, like, that's fine, but it is your fault. It's not a negative. If you take it as a negative, that's fine. Vice versa. Like, someone can turn around and be like, oh, the reason your biceps are so small is because it's your fault you're not training like this. I'm like, you're right. It's true. So don't take it as a negative. Just be like, actually, like, yeah, it is my fault.
Yep. And say, great, that means that it's my decision to get better. And so there's only two things that are certain in life. The future can be different, and you're the only person who can do something about it.
Simple.
Bosh. That's it. That's literally it.
But that's literally it, isn't it? It's a simple concept. That's it. But it is, again, we come back to that, the whole self-awareness thing, 100%. But I think the biggest thing, we touched on this before, it's like you're surrounding yourself with the wrong people. That's the thing. So people get trapped into that bubble of like thinking this is it. Like, this is what I need to accept. Like, my friends are like it. It's normal, things like that. I'm like, it's not. So that's just your environment, who you chose to surround yourself with. And it's that whole typical analogies, right? It's like, go hang out with 5 millionaires, you'll probably be the 6th. Go hang around with 5 drug dealers, probably be the 6th.
Yeah, literally. And I think this is one thing that has massively benefited me over the last, if I say 6 months, is just surrounding myself and having more conversations with the right people like yourself, people like Kev, and just being in Dubai, Alex, and all that. Okay, because back home, my mates are absolutely awesome, love them to bits, but you have different people in your life for different things. And we both spoken about this with Kieran in the boardroom. You have different people in your life for different things. If we think about your life and who's in it as a boardroom, you have people in it for your business. You have people in it for your personal stuff who you can go to with absolutely anything. It might be a mum, it might be a sister, it might be a girlfriend, it might be a boyfriend, whatever it might be. You have people in your life who push you and challenge you. You have people in your life who you just go and shoot the shit with and you chill out with. But it's about having the right people in your boardroom, but also making sure that those spaces in your boardroom aren't taken up by people who don't need to be there. Okay, and it sounds a little bit ruthless, but I think I've said this on a number of podcasts. COVID was actually one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it made me realize I had a whole load of people in my life who were just fucking there because they wanted to go and get pissed at the pub with me. That was literally it. They offered nothing to my life. I offered nothing to their life. So it wasn't me being selfish or anything like that. It was just, that's all it was.
Yeah.
So COVID came along. We didn't have that. Guess what? I probably haven't spoken to them in 18 months.
And that's it. But also vice versa. They haven't spoke to you. Like you said, you didn't bring them value either. So that's absolutely fine. But it is a massive thing, isn't it? Like, I think even if you take a step back now, like, we would not be in this position from a training point of view, from anything, right? If we didn't have the right people around us. And I'm not saying you actually need them. I'm like, dude, the amount of people that I surround myself with and I haven't even fucking met, it's just through this. Like, so you don't actually need someone physically. You just need that right little circle. And like you say, it's just very important to, like, you just got to get out there a little bit. Like, what's the harm of messaging someone and going into the right environment? Because most of the people that you want to be in the right environment with, if you have that same mindset, there's no reason why they wouldn't let you into their world, 100%. But I cannot stress it enough. Like, your environment is fucking everything. This comes down to not even so much people, like, where do you live? Things like that. It could be actually like tidy your room and things like that. Make your environment a nice place, because then you'll sleep better. Everything along those lines. Make sure you got a clean environment. We're like this. We talk about, we have a cleaner every week, right? We have a cleaner that comes in. It's super cheap, but if I have a clean environment, I have a clean mind and things like that. So your environment is the foundation of everything. Bit like we can say calories is the foundation of like dieting in a sense.
Your macros.
Yeah.
Environment is one of the macros.
It's literally it. It's literally it. And like,
now on this topic, then what are the other two macros? Environment's one macro. Oh, we're going there. This is a, I like this one. Environment's definitely one. I would say that the ability to make hard decisions definitely has to be one.
Yeah.
Because I think that ties into a hell of a lot of things in terms of relationships, people who you surround yourself with, learning not to get shiny object syndrome and different things like that. So I know I kind of obviously touched on this last podcast. I know it went down quite well, so I'll just explain it again. Is the whole warrior magician king thing. And I heard this, and this was like a big like aha moment for me. And it's something done it with clients. I've had conversations with so many people about this concept, and it has just hit the nail on the head with people. And like I said, I, as someone who would always take the brunt for, I will keep people happy. I don't care. I don't mind taking the brunt and taking a bit of pain if it means that other people are happy. Okay. So we have kind of three different sorts of personalities. We have the warrior, we have the magician, and we have the lover at the bottom kind of level here. Okay. The warrior is kind of like your classic, like someone insults you, you take it personally, you go right back in, you're like, okay. Something kicks off, you're the first one in there. Okay. The magician is that person who's there like, okay, that's fine. If I do this, this, and this, and that, and that, and then I try and do that and that, and I make that and that work, it will be okay, because I'll be able to do this, this, and this. Okay. They'll find a way to make something work. The lover is the one who will just take the brunt. They don't care. They'll just want to keep other people happy. Okay. It doesn't matter how painful it is. If you have to go and freaking walk over needles, you do it because the other person's happy. Okay. Now, no one is really one or the other. Lots of people are kind of two. So I'm quite magician and lover. I will do that, that, and that, and this, this, and this, because it's okay, because it will keep that person happy. Yeah. Okay. So it's about taking ourselves out of any three of these and moving ourselves. This is what you get for being in Sunny Hounslow. Taking yourself out of one of those three and putting yourself into king or queen. So you take yourself above warrior, magician, and lover, and you go, right, I'm going to take all three into account. What is the best thing that I can do as the king of the kingdom? Because I have to make a decision that's going to look after the king and the king's kingdom. Because if you're warrior, that's not going to be the best thing. If you're magician, that's not going to be the best thing. If you're lover, that's not going to be the best thing. What is the decision that the king or queen would make for themselves and their kingdom to put them in the best position moving forward? Okay, so if you can use that thing and think, you'll be able to consciously see yourself getting stuck in warrior, stuck in magician, stuck in lover, okay, and go, no, right, this is the best thing that I can do now. How can I put myself into king? And it's weird. Whenever I catch myself, I physically now feel myself. I like stand up and I'm like, right, oh, I'm in king.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the decision I need to make. But
Yeah.
when you understand, you can become self-aware of it. Go from there.
And I think that's the thing as well. It's taking yourself out of the situation initially, and then, like you say, lift up, look down. What needs to be? Do I need to be the warrior, king, warrior, magician, or lover sort of thing? And that's going to change as well. All different situations. It's not like a permanent thing set in stone. It's not like you are the lover and magician. It is the fact. Okay, cool, different scenario. I need to be a warrior right now. It's as simple as I need to go 100% all that for this split situation. Then we step back, things like that. So it's almost like when people it's when people define themselves. Like, you're not one or the other. It's like, for us, we deal with different clients. Some clients need a kick in the butt. Some clients need a hug and a kiss. Some clients need a bit, come on, they need a bit of both. Bit of like, yeah, no, like, it's a bit brutal, but a bit of love at the same time. Like, come on, you can fucking do it, sort your shit out sort of thing. And some people need that. But that is it. But then it comes down to that big thing, self-awareness, take yourself out of the situation, almost look down on it sort of thing. Right, I need to go here. I need to go there sort of thing. I think it's a brilliant thing to do. That's absolutely fun. And it's a nice way, it's a nice analogy of it, really, because it makes it very clear.
Yeah. So I'm like a super visual learner. And if I can see something and unpack it kind of in like a visual way in front of me, I can make sense of it. I never say I'm the quickest person, but once I get my head around something, I'm absolutely fine. And just actually seeing that kind of like K, so king at the top, K, W, warrior, M, magician, L, lover, underneath, king on top. Take yourself out of the bottom three, put yourself in the king. King makes the best decision for the king and his kingdom. Okay. Freaking game changer, absolute game changer. I think the biggest thing from all of it is just self-awareness.
Yeah, that's the thing. And also, it's like, we're not saying walk away from this and be the most self-aware person in the world. Like, it generally does take time, and you're always like, it's like we say, you're never going to find that perfect you. You're never going to find that perfect thing or fully balanced or self-aware. Your life is always changing, so that your self-awareness evolve over time. It's very simple. It's like, same as we can talk about calories. Like, calories don't just stay the same. They need to change over time, sort of thing, along with your journey. It's the same as training. Like, cool, this might work for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, then it might need to change, sort of thing. It's that constant thing. It's like, but just start that momentum rolling. Because then when it's rolling, tweaking stuff along the way is absolutely fine. That's where I didn't get any of that.
I got the just start.
Yeah.
I got like the end of yeah, it's literally that. It's just imperfect implementation, take action, stop waiting, because if you don't do the work, then you're never going to get anywhere close to where you want to be. But on that, I think it's a case of also just making sure that you do have a little bit of clarity on exactly where you're going and why you want to get there. It's like running before you can walk, because if you're just constantly chasing a never-ending pursuit of I want to be better, then you won't get the gratitude and things like that. So understand where you're going, why you're doing that, and then put a step-by-step process in place of how you're going to get there, and then enjoy the small little wins, and you will eventually see the progress that you want to.
That's it. And I think it's a very easy note to wrap up on. So it's absolutely brilliant, bud. So it's cool. But obviously, to wrap up, if you had to give one piece of advice for anyone to implement today, listening to this podcast, to take them 1% further forward tomorrow, what would that be?
Daily battle planning. I call it daily battle planning. Just put a fancy name on it because it makes my clients do it. Every single one. First of all, schedule 15 minutes into your calendar at the end of each day. And in that 15 minutes, you're actually going to plan the next day. And in that, you write what the 1 to 5 things I need to do in order for tomorrow to be a success. Okay. Your productivity will go through the roof. You'll find more gratitude because it's actually scientifically proven. The more you tick things off, the more like, fuck yeah, you'll get more done. Okay. So just implement daily battle planning, and watch your productivity, your motivation will go up. Motivation in inverted commas, and your progress to where you want to get to will be 10x, and you'll get there a hell of a lot quicker.
No, spot on, mate. No, that's absolutely brilliant. The simple things always work. And where can everybody find you as well, bud? What's the easiest way to find you, stalk you, whatever that may be?
Yeah, so best place to find me is probably just on Instagram, Simon Johnson Fitness. Give me a follow, give me a message. More than happy to help anyone out. I'm literally here to answer questions. I love helping people. And then also I have my podcast, the Listen Whilst You Step podcast. So yeah, hit me up. And thank you again for having me on, mate. I really appreciate it.
Cool. Easy. I'll tag all his stuff in the links below. So any questions, jump over to his stuff. His podcast is sick. I need to catch up. I think I'm like 4 behind. So it's fine. I need to play catch up. So it's cool. Mate, easy. Nice little throw screen to finish on. So I will love you and leave you, man. And I'll speak to you in a sec.